Under Brigadier General Slaten's leadership, the wing executed the Air Force's sole 24/7, 365 rescue alert posture, prosecuting 262 civil search and rescue incidents, saving 179 lives. Provided daily lines of global strategic airlift, engaged in the 24/7 air sovereignty mission, directing the intercepts of several Russian long-range aviation bomber aircraft in the Alaska North American Aerospace Defensive Command region's area of responsibility. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Brigadier General Darrin Slaten reflect great credit upon himself, the state of Alaska, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force.
I can tell you this is the easiest speech I've ever written, and I'll show it to you. It says wife, for those of you in the back. I'm going to turn this right here so I don't forget to thank my wife somewhere in the course of my comments. So I stand before you a really blessed man, given the opportunity to lead such a great wing. And I've been a part of this organization for about 21 years, and it's culminated in this event, and I recognize my next assignment will take me away from here, probably not to come back to the state of Alaska. So this is really a bittersweet moment for Don and I. Thank you all for joining us on the weekend. To my wife, Dawn, right out of the gate, honey. I certainly appreciate all the support that you've given me over the last 30 years, but more importantly, I appreciate the energy that you put into our family and the energy you put into just making me great. And that's a tough job. So I also appreciate how excited you are and how eager you are for new experiences. She put one caveat on my follow-on assignments once we PCS'd from Alaska the first time back in 2010. She said, all I want you to do is make sure that my Amazon Prime deliveries get shorter and shorter. I seem to be doing poorer and poorer with every move. So, honey, thank you. You're my rock, and I appreciate all your love and support. General Sachs, Chief, thank you for the opportunity to lead this great wing and spend some time with you under your mentorship. It's been a short 2 years, but I certainly appreciate everything you've done for us and the team here at the 176 in this time. General Juziak, thanks for joining us on the weekend. I know you just came in and I got to go to your change of command. Casey, thanks for coming out. We're doing great things over there at USARAC, and look to strengthen that partnership even more. Joe Streff, General Joe Streff. Joe hates it when I tell the story. I'm going to tell it anyway. Joe was the first Alaska National Guardman I ever met, and he took me on a flight in the back of an H-60 with an old friend of ours, and I was sold. Had to come back. General Clancy, thank you so much for your mentorship over the last couple of years. General Clancy is a fellow helicopter pilot, and there's only a few of us in the Air Force and even fewer of them in the Canadian Air Force. But they seem to do pretty well at the higher ranks. So thanks for your mentorship and your friendship through these years. Leash Bodine, we could not have done the things that we have done with the changes to the relationship between the 11th Air Force, ALCOM, and the Joint Staff without your steady hand. Your knowledge and your background in the command is phenomenal, and you keep everybody on track when all those meetings try to take a crazy Ivan right 90. So appreciate your leadership and your friendship. To the best TFI team on the face of the planet, Trish Shank, Tibor, Magoo, and Kathy, thanks so much for the years of friendship. I didn't think I could find a team or a crew that would care about my airmen as much as I do, but I certainly saw it in all of your actions. Trish, from the earthquake last November, what a great response from your team in helping us as well as all the airmen on JBEAR. And Magoo, I think we talked a little bit during the reception, but there is absolutely no way that we would have got the predictability without the predictability of MPA for our airmen. And so it adds to the mission, it adds to our ability to support the mission without your support. And there hasn't been a stitch of daylight between you and I on the issues that are coming forward for the TFI, and I couldn't have done it without you, so thanks so much. To all the wing members, the 176 Wing Midnight Sun Guardians, this has been a busy couple of years. It's been a busy decade, really. You've taken all of those conversions, C-17 swap, HC-130, swap to the LR, and we only paused for just a brief moment to take in the HC-130s. And those HC-130s are downrange today. Before they came out of conversion, those folks headed into theater. It says a lot about the mission focus, lean forwardness, that you guys, the attitude that you guys take towards the mission. Couldn't be prouder of you. To my group commanders, Ken, Ko, Tony, Rick, and your command teams, we took on a significant task a couple of years ago, and what I asked them to do was trust. Trust, vision, and focus. I've said it so much, I think the chaplain's working it into his prayers now. So what a great team. We sat, locked arms, built a plan, and we trusted each other. And you guys have taken this organization to a new level. And Tony, for you and Lorena, I only wish the best for you as you take it to the next level, as I know you will. A couple of friends didn't get to come today. Dan and Joanne Toomey, we've known them for a very, very long time, and they live up on the hill. And if you guys haven't noticed, it's springtime temperatures out there, and they couldn't get off the hillside today. But I do have a good friend here, Dennis and Marion Dunn. Dennis and his good friend, my good friend, I called them my brothers from another mother, CJ. They were my first sergeants when I was a company commander in the Army. And suffice it to say that those two gentlemen taught me how to lead with compassion. But compassion doesn't mean you're nice. And I have to tell you, I learned so much in those years, those formative years with you and CJ. I can't thank you enough. And thank you, Marion, for coming out here this weekend and braving those roads from the valley. Chief Schaefer's and D. Schaefer's. I don't think I could have picked a better partner in crime for the last couple of years. Chief, you're a stalwart. You're calm, cool, and collected. You're decisive when you need to be, and you're a great friend. I told Chief at about the 6-month mark when I took over, after we took over, that I started tallying for a couple weeks. And I think we'd entered into a pretty serious relationship when I knew I was having more meals with Chief Schaefer than I was my wife. But I can't thank you enough, Chief, and it's been great to get to know you and Dee. You've been a great team, and thank you so much. I gave Steve Latham and Jana Latham a seat near the front, but I'm just going to guess that they sat in back. There they are. I knew that's what you'd do. But you do have a seat up here, Steve and Jana. So thanks so much for your friendship. When I was away, I took a job down in D.C. for a couple of years, but I kept my finger on the pulse of this organization with a few key communicators, and Steve and Jana are those communicators. For somebody of my age and my generation, they have a command of the internet and phones that I don't have, and they kept me connected and kept me abreast of everything going on in the unit so I could help as much as I could from D.C. I will tell you, I'll say to you the one last thing is that I told you when I took command of the wing. I believe today, as I believed many years ago, that character is the building block for all leaders. And you all have shown character in the 176 Wing. I appreciate your focus on increasing readiness and lethality and the hard work that you've done to get to where you are today. Thank you.
The men men and women of the 176 Wing are thankful for your service to our wing. The tradition of passing the organizational colors from the outgoing to the incoming commander is symbolic of the transfer of command responsibility and indicative of the sacred trust and confidence that a nation places on the new leader. Please stand for the change of command. Under the provisions of AFI 51604 and Special Order Number G003, Brigadier General Darrin E. Slaten relinquishes command of the 176 Wing to Colonel Anthony D. Stratton, effective 8 December 2019. Please be seated.
I know that in my heart, everybody in this hangar right now is fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of our Creator. We are husbands, we're wives, we are brothers and sisters, we're teachers, we're coaches, we're members of our neighborhood watch, we're mechanics, personnelists, but ultimately, where's Colonel Bailey at? We are warriors. We formed together this wing, which I have spent my entire military career in, as a family, knit together to fight against the specters of sexual assault and suicide, where we hold those accountable and we provide homes, meals, comfort, solace, a future for all of our family members. We provide critical combat capability every single day to 2 combatant commanders. We are airmen, our nation's sword and shield. We're Alaskans, our state's first responders. We are always ready, we are always there, we always have been, and we always will be. And I'll leave you this afternoon with an illustration from King David about my vision for our organization. In Psalm 1, verse 3, when he says, "We are like a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and in all we do, we prosper." Thank you.
The men and women of the 176 Wing would like to welcome Colonel Stratton and his family to our wing. We would like to present Colonel Stratton's mothers with a welcome gift.